Welcome, everyone, to today's Explainer. Today, we're taking a look at the absolute nervous system of the modern global economy. We're talking about the digital crossroads, that fascinating intersection where e-business and outsourcing meet to completely change how the entire world works. Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to picture the year 1997 in your mind. Imagine those numbers literally transforming right before your eyes into a glowing laptop screen labeled e-business by IBM. That was the exact moment IBM actually coined the term. You see, before then, we basically just talked about e-commerce, which was, essentially just buying and selling online. But as that glowing screen expanded into a global web, instantly connecting factories, offices, and delivery workers, a totally new concept was born. E-business emerged to encompass connecting people and processes globally, not just facilitating a quick sale.
Just to make sure we get the absolute most out of our time together, here's a quick roadmap for our explainer. We are going to cover 1. The dawn of e-business, 2. The 6 digital directions, 3. Benefits versus limitations, 4. The online transaction journey, and 5. The immense power of outsourcing.
All right, Section 1, the dawn of e-business.
So, the internet didn't just give us a shiny new catalog to order from. It fundamentally rewired the administrative heartbeat of how the world buys, sells, and delegates. E-business is defined as the administration of conducting business via the internet. The absolutely crucial point here is that this isn't merely a technical upgrade. No, it is a fundamental shift in how business is managed, aided, and supported by technology. It brings together everything: product design, supply chain integration, customer support, into one seamless digital ecosystem.
Let's move to Section 2, the 6 digital directions. Let's see how this all builds out. Imagine arriving at a bustling digital crossroads with 6 bright neon signposts pointing in totally different directions. These are the specific networks connecting the globe. First, you have B2B, where massive manufacturing plants are exchanging inventory codes digitally. Then there's B2C, which is just you browsing a shopping app like Flipkart on your phone. C2B actually flips the script. This is consumers requesting a taxi or setting a budget for a project. C2C connects 2 neighbors trading a bicycle on an interactive marketplace like eBay. And hey, we can't forget the administrative side. B2A handles corporate tax payments online, while C2A allows everyday individuals to digitally apply for things like a passport or an Aadhaar card.
To really bring these signposts to life, think about how incredibly dynamic they are. In a B2B model, one business might be automatically supplying ancillary parts to a manufacturer the exact second their inventory drops. It's like a giant puzzle fitting itself together. In the C2B model, a consumer literally dictates terms to a business. You can post, say, a pest control project online with a strict budget, and real companies actually bid for your money. And in C2C, third-party forums create highly interactive spaces for everyday people to trade goods and even redress complaints together.
Moving right along to Section 3, benefits versus limitations.
Now, no system is totally perfect, right? So we need to contrast the sheer magic of digital commerce with the real-world friction of the physical world. Let's talk strengths first, and frankly, they're fast and impressive. A shop magically sets up digitally in an absolute instant with zero expensive physical storefront architecture. It offers significantly lower investment requirements. Just picture a clock rolling rapidly around a 24x7x365 loop while you purchase items globally with a single mouse click. The speed is totally unmatched. Access is entirely global, and electronic receipts replace those clunky, bulky files, driving a massive movement toward a totally paperless society with incredibly secure, round-the-clock financial transfers.
But let's slow things down for just a second. We have to contrast that instant digital setup with our physical reality. Just think about a customer scratching their head trying to feel the fuzzy fabric of a sweater through the cold glass of a computer monitor. It doesn't work. You simply lack that personal touch. And then, well, there's the waiting. Because no matter how lightning fast your internet connection is, you are still left tapping your foot, waiting for a physical delivery cargo vehicle to finally arrive at your doorstep.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that beyond just the delivery lag, there's a slightly darker side to these checkpoints. We have hacker shadow shapes constantly trying to intercept your digital account credentials. There's the looming wall of potential government interference and monitoring, and most crucially, a massive warning icon regarding the extremely high risk of fraud. Because there is no direct face-to-face contact, trying to take legal action across different jurisdictions for online frauds becomes incredibly, painfully difficult.
Which brings us to Section 4, the online transaction journey. With those very real risks in mind, how do we safely navigate a purchase? Let's demystify exactly what happens when we click that buy button.
The online transaction journey essentially boils down to 3 secure steps. Step 1 is registration, setting up an account with an email so your details are safely stored away. Step 2 is placing an order, which creates a secure online record in your shopping cart of exactly what you desire and the quantities. And step 3 is payment, locking in that transaction with high-level encryption.
Tracing this whole process visually, it makes perfect sense. The buyer finds a seller, they select their goods, and then there's a negotiation of price and delivery terms. From there, it moves right into the sale, followed by payment and delivery. What's brilliant here is how it highlights that, unlike traditional business, where travel and face-to-face convincing waste so much time, this digital flow is strictly result-oriented and highly efficient.
And for that final payment step, we have some incredibly diverse avenues today. You can opt for cash on delivery right at your doorstep, mail a traditional check, use an electronic net banking transfer, swipe your credit or debit cards, often called plastic money, or even use digital cash, which is that fascinating electronic currency existing purely in cyberspace.
And finally, Section 5, the power of outsourcing.
To finish up today, I want us to zoom way out from the individual transaction to global corporate strategy. What is outsourcing at its core? Simply put, it's the process of an organization contracting a specific business function to a specialized agency. The logic here is simple but incredibly powerful. By handing off non-core tasks like, say, household pantry services, daily sanitation, or facility security, a company frees itself up to hyper-focus entirely on showcasing and improving its core product.
Within this sprawling world, there are 2 major acronyms you absolutely need to know: BPO and KPO. BPO, or Business Process Outsourcing, involves contracting peripheral operations. Think of your standard customer care call center. But KPO, Knowledge Process Outsourcing, is a highly specialized subset that involves analytical, knowledge-based work being sent out to true experts. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive difference in requirements between the two. BPO mainly requires good communication skills for lower-level, less complex processes. KPO, on the other hand, is highly complex. It strictly requires professional, highly qualified workers with deep knowledge expertise to handle tasks that directly add value to a company's competitive chain.
Actually, a fascinating and rapidly growing specific subset of KPO is LPO, Legal Process Outsourcing. This is where high-end legal research, dense document review, and the drafting of briefings are contracted out. Law firms in the US or Europe can outsource this incredibly intricate work to highly educated professionals in places like India, achieving massive cost efficiency without sacrificing an ounce of quality.
Of course, we must weigh this global strategy impartially. The advantages of global outsourcing are very real. You get incredible overall cost advantages, access to brilliant global professional experts, and much lower investment requirements in physical infrastructure. However, the disadvantages are equally real. You face potential threats to confidentiality, major communication gaps due to wildly different time zones, and a very complex, ongoing ethical debate regarding taking employment opportunities away from a company's host country.
Which leaves us here. We've traveled all the way from the birth of e-business in 1997, straight through the digital crossroads, unpacking exactly how we transact and how massive global corporations distribute knowledge. Technology is moving incredibly fast, isn't it? So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. What seems entirely 100% impossible today that e-business and global networking will make effortlessly possible tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to understanding. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.